Hi there. Welcome to your Soul to Soul reading for November. Well, it's not for November, but it is November 14th, 2017. Hi, welcome. This channel is called The Witching Hour. My name is Michelle and I'm a witch. I'm going to continue on with my card series. Let me get them. I've shown them to you before, but since these readings are not time sensitive, you can go intuitively pick whatever reading you feel drawn to and pick it, and it will be relevant for you at any given time. So these are my Soul to Soul Oracle and Divination cards, and I made them myself. They were inspired by Soul Collage, but I took that and ran with it and did my own thing. And we are on card number 6 or 7 now. Actually, we're gonna do 4 cards today, because they kind of all go together. So I'm going to do, the last 2 readings I did were nature, and the next one was animals. The next one, not in any order of priority, but it is food, clothing, and home, and your magic. So that's what the name of each card is. Food, my favorite food. I'm sorry, vegans and vegetarians. Look away. But I like lobster. It's my favorite. I'm sorry. But anyway, my favorite food. So if you were to go make a card, you would put your absolute favorite food that you just couldn't live without. If you compared it to any other food, you'd always pick that one. And I know we have different favorites and whatnot, but like lobster's my favorite. Can't, seafood in general, but lobster, out of all the seafood, lobster is my favorite. And does this all have spiritual meaning and importance? Yes, it does. Anyway, second card is clothing. If you can see this, she's got a witchy Stevie Nicks kind of a vibe. And that's my style. So you make a clothing card. If you ever make these cards for yourself, you would make something that expresses how you really are, and you actually dress that way. Or at least incorporate some elements of that, those ideas and creativity. It's a creative expression of who you are on the inside. So that's clothing. Next card is home. And this would be my ideal home. I would just want to be near the beach. So I put my face in there to kind of add that little bit of manifesting power to it, so that I could see myself in my beach house. And I don't want anything fancy. I like simple things. You could put me in a refrigerator box as long as it's on the beach, and I'll do it up nice and make it look good. So it doesn't matter. An RV, a mobile home, a shack, a cottage, anything. Just get me near the beach. I like to be near the water. And so this style house is a cob style house. I think they call it daub and wattle in Europe. It's just where it's made with hay, straw, you know, bales that are very compacted together. And you do like that plastering over it, and it's really, really strong, so I've heard. But anyway, it's very natural. They're very affordable to do, so that would be my dream. I just like the way they look. They look like hobbit houses or tree houses. Anything earthy like that is my favorite kind of building, but I don't care what it is, to be honest. But I put my favorite one on that card. Your magic. My magic is sexuality, scrying, which is what I'm doing right now, any variation of that, creativity. My favorite form of creativity right at the moment is making candles. That's not one of mine. That is from White Magic Alchemy. You can find them on Etsy. I don't know them. I'm not doing like a plug or anything, but that happens to be one of their candles. But I thought I should mention them. Beautiful artisanship. Is that the word? In their candles. Beautiful. So many other different great candle companies. And the other part of my magic is earth. And this is how I used to go camping when I was little, and my parents and I would go camping, and to me it's like the closer I can get to the earth without anything coming between us, like just laying in the grass, just laying flat on the grass and just letting the earth soak in my energy, or being on the beach, lying on the sand and just getting sucked in. That's the only way I can describe it. So that's my magic. But and like I said, I've mentioned it in other readings before too, I really commune with trees and flowers and herbs and fairies. So I'm very earthy, elemental type of thing. And anyway, so I'm going to put these four cards together, because even though they're individually listed on that list of 13 that I've mentioned before, these can get clumped together in the way that my guide, prior to getting this list of these 13 things, my guide was helping clarify something for me. I was doing a manifesting spell, which is something that I teach, and I'll make available in my shop at some point soon. But it's a very specific way of doing a very specific kind of spell work, but it encompasses your whole life. Anyway, I was making a treasure map of sorts in doing this, and my guide was showing me how to I couldn't prioritize it. There were too many options to think about, and he helped me. Long story short, he gave me these 3 areas of life to focus upon, and he put it in very, very succinct terms, and these embody one of those areas. There were 3 that he gave me, and this embodies one of those. One embodies relationships, love. The next one embodies your material needs, and then the next one embodies your action and how you go out in the world and all the fun stuff that you do. Inspiration. So these 4 cards actually, being on that list of 13 things, this embodies that second thing, that second area. If you were to take all these 13 things and break them down into 3 things, these 4 go into that second area of material need, and having everything you need. And when I asked him, I heard him say that, you have everything you need. And I said, what do I really need? And his exact words to me were, my guide said, food. Sounds so basic. Food, clothing, shelter, and something meaningful to do. That's all you really need. So here it is. Food, clothing, shelter, and this is my something meaningful to do, which is my magic. Okay, and everybody has their own magic. Not going to get into all the details of what that may be. I could do an individual reading on that. Probably I could do an individual reading on any one of these 13 cards. But as I said, my magic is sexuality, and using that sexual energy and channeling it towards so many different things. It's just creative life force energy. But sexuality specifically, sacred sexual union, developing and growing in sexual energy and relationships, romantic relationships, that's my thing. So my magic is sexuality, scrying, creativity, and earth. My magic has a lot to do with the earth elements, all of them, but particularly in communing with those earth elements, the elementals of earth as well, all of them. I think that has a lot to do with the healing energy that I do. So I'm going to get started. I drew 4 cards, one to match each area, and I have not looked at them yet. And I'm thinking if we have time, I'll do another different oracle card from the crystals or the true love. I might. So a little bit about the food. Just think about everything holistically. Think about where your food comes from. Think about trying to connect to it as closely as you can to reconnect with nature and the food that is provided for us through nature and through animals if you are omnivorous. And Clothing, same thing. It's like, think about what really truly is a creative expression of you and wear it on the outside. If you're a jeans and t-shirt type of person, or you like to wear snappy things, like you look like you just stepped out of a movie, like Ocean's 11, you know, my partner loves that look. I'm more Stevie Nicks. Are you a biker? Are you rugged? Are you more of a flannel shirt and jeans and work boots type of person? Whatever. Feels like it expresses what's inside of you. Or a little bit of each, you know, you change it every day, you know, you just have eclectic taste. And home is really only the space, the sacred space that you create for yourself, where you really keep it simple. You need a place to sleep, you need a place to cook and eat your food, and possibly do your creative work. And your magic, or your something meaningful to do, it might not be your day job, so to speak. It might just be your so-called hobby or your passion. I hate all the labels used for it, but it really is. What it really is your calling. Your magic is your calling. So however you can configure that in your life, and I pray for you that if it's what you want, that you get to make a vocation of it. I pray that you can. I'm trying to. I don't know that I'd be able to live off of what I make. Good. But it's still the most meaningful thing that I do, or that I ever will do. I have been studying the paranormal since I was a kid. I mean, little. Anything. It had to be about ghosts or witches. It had to be. It had to be. Or I wouldn't read it. That's what I've just been doing it my whole life. And it's my passion. And so anyway, it's what I focus the intention to do it, you know, for as long as I can, to do it as often as I can, make a vocation of it. I already feel that it is my job. Even if I didn't get paid, I would still do it. You know, that type of thing. So that is your magic, and it really literally creates, influences the environment around us in the whole world. It really does. It doesn't matter what your magic is. It can be one thing, it can be an eclectic mix of things that really call to your soul. Doesn't matter what it is. It's something that you love so much, you know you couldn't live without it. Regardless of how much it costs you, you live to put your finances towards that, to keep it alive and thriving, that type of thing, you know. No one can just call that a hobby. That's your life calling, to me. And a lot of self-help or motivational speakers call it your passion, you know. And it is. I just think the word's a little overused at this point. So, but I feel that it's your calling. It's your calling. It's what you came here to do. And it does not matter if it can carry you as a vocation or not. It is still your calling. And your day job, and that may have a lot of importance and meaning to you too, but your day job is also to just put that food, clothing, and shelter to provide for those things, and to provide for your something meaningful to do, your magic. So however you can configure it, I hope it works for you. I pray that you make it work for you the way you really want it to. All right, so without further ado, I'm excited to get into this reading. I pulled one card for each area, and so we're doing a 4-in-1 today. All right, 4 cards in one. And I pulled 4, they're face down. I may pull an oracle one after, just to kind of round it out. So here we go. My apologies for the shaking. Oops. Shapers. How violent. Sorry. Alrighty. Okay, I think I have everything in there. Do I? Can you see? Alright. And I put a castle here because when we talk about home, I want to conjure up that feeling in you that your home is your castle. That no matter how big or small it is, you treasure it with everything in you, and that you truly feel that you are royalty when you come home, Not in the sense that anyone's serving you, of course. I just mean that you feel like you are truly in a sacred royal place and that it's protected. So we have a dragon and a crystal for connecting with spirit and the earth, and unicorn horn for magic and owl for magic. This is one of my favorite pieces of jewelry that I wear. This is a depiction. It's a little piece of a tarot card. Anyway, that to me goes with the clothing. This is for you to make the coin. This is just a piece of pyrite and it symbolizes gold. And it's so that you have this feeling of abundance, and that's what I want to put on the table. I want this to be an altar that I've already saged and cleared everything. I want you to feel your life calling coming up through this reading. And think about what kind of food makes you feel whole, what kind of clothing expresses your true personality, your core personality. What place and near which element would home feel the most magical and sacred to you? And what is your calling? What is your calling? What calls to your soul in something meaningful to do? So the first card has to do with food, and it is courage. Two of Wands. What's interesting is this came up with the animal reading, I believe. I think what I'm feeling off of this card is that for those of you who need to make changes, and that it might seem different to you, it might seem different to the people around you, like particularly if you have children and you start making, you kind of make an executive or authoritative decision, not to overrule people, but you know, if you're the mom or the dad, or the moms and the dads, and you want to make a healthy change, that's going to take some courage. If your home and family are used to their diet being a particular way, and you're afraid about how much it costs to make those dietary changes, and that you think, you know, this is the onset of a really complicated process of changing your diet or going more healthy or organic or growing your own. I feel for some of you probably wanting to do something like homesteading, that type of thing, and you do need courage for that in the modern world, because it's hard to turn around and go from being in a modern system of things and then kind of going holistic / organic, you know, and very natural, and try and get as connected to nature as you can. And, you know, your family could maybe put up a fight, your peers, your family of origin, people can, you know, it can present a bit of a challenge. But I also feel, too, coming from this card, let me get my glasses on, sorry. I also feel prejudices coming from either side, like from health conscious people, and you might make changes that might be frowned upon in your spiritual community. You know, you might be going from one form of nutritional health to another that might be frowned upon depending on moral standards in your spiritual community and in your family community. I keep seeing like Jamie Oliver, and I keep seeing somebody opening a restaurant. That's what I'm picking up on. And that I don't know if you know who Jamie Oliver is. He cooks very holistically, grows a lot of his own stuff, a lot of organic things, and he's trying to change the way school systems cook their food. He like advocates a lot of on-site cooking as opposed to eating processed stuff and all of that and putting it in the schools. So I think whatever changes you're going to be making, I'm assuming that there are changes being made because of the card itself being courage. So, and to be encouraged, don't give up. Don't give up on yourself in trying to make more holistic changes in your diet, in your eating. Have courage and go for it. And just do one little thing at a time. You can do one ingredient at a time to make those changes and to move where the food is. I'm feeling that. Some of you want to move to where the food is or to where you can grow it. It seems like kind of a big thing, like homesteading, and you want to really, really, really get back to nature. Then this is encouraging you to do that. I think deep down in our hearts, we all want to do that. So moving on to, you have everything you need. Moving on from food into clothing. We're going to switch gears now. And I do feel that some of us want to like switch from buying at commercial brand places and going maybe more to specialty shops or consignment shops that make more organic fabric and use natural dyes and all of that type of thing. And to do it like with the food, to do it one article of clothing at a time and to save up a little bit more, to buy one piece of clothing as opposed to spending the same amount of money and getting 10 pieces of clothing, but that's really cheap, or they're made in sweatshops and that type of thing, Discontent. Instantly in my mind, I saw body image jump up. And this is kind of this is the crux of it. That clothing is more of a personal expression of who you are on the inside. It's as if you're a palette or a blank canvas, and you get to create a picture of you every day. It's not about, do these clothes make me look thin? Do these clothes make me look hot? Do these clothes make me, connecting it to body image, leaving your outer appearance making you feel that you kind of don't, it's the word I'm looking for. Your body image based on how your clothes fit you kind of makes you feel unhappy, like you don't have some certain look. Instead, go back to your own inner creative feelings and create a look for yourself that's based on, you could even tie it to your calling. Tie it to your calling. And dress the part of who you are on the inside. Dress the part of that person on the inside of who you are. And then it becomes a creative expression. And when you put it all together, and it doesn't matter how much money you have or don't have, you can pull some kind of look together that's like a reasonable facsimile thereof, of who you feel called to be in this world, how you want to show up, what you would like to see in the mirror, not compared to any other image that's out there whatsoever. This reminds me of me because I wear my belly dance skirts all the time. That's my clothing. I take belly dance. Well, I haven't in a while, but for about on and off for a couple of years I've been dancing. And these are the type skirts you wear. You wear big, foofy, tribal looking cotton flowing skirts. They're gorgeous. I don't mean the cabaret style belly dance, although I've worn those type costumes too. I'm talking about the more earthy style. Anyway, so my skirts are clothing that I wear to class. I don't wear my belly dance attire on the street. Those are my clothes first and foremost, and they're an expression of who I am, and I wear those to class, if that makes sense. And consignment shops, Four of Cups is when the hand of God reaches out and hands you something. So I saw the word handout in my mind, but not meaning that in the moocher kind of a way where you're getting a handout. But so what if it's charity? You might find your look at a charity shop or a consignment shop type of thing. You might need to offer a handout to people in eliminating your old look and creating your new look, which is a more authentic expression of your true self, and start giving those other things away and releasing them to people. And it could be their look. What you're giving away, you know, one man's trash is another man's treasure, so to speak, right? But I keep getting the impression you're going to have fun finding yourself in this process of clothing yourself and embodying the energy of who you are on the inside. And it could take on so many different looks because we embody so much different energy. Oh, I forgot to mention with food, this is the flavor of your life. Don't forget, don't eat just for nutrition, eat for the flavor. Do both. You have to take courage and not, I'm sorry to backpedal here, but this message is jumping out at me because it caught my eye. It's like, don't worry about what's trendy, fashionable, or even, politically correct or spiritually correct, unless it's your own spirituality, but not an external laws about food, external opinions, external, all that BS. We should be eating this, that, or the other thing, and food has gone through so many trends. It's like, get back to nature, get back to something rustic, but more importantly, get back to what's intrinsically flavorful for you. It doesn't have to be about what's correct. Eat to flavor your life. And in that last video I mentioned, the more you depend on nature, the more you appreciate nature. So get as close to the preparation and the direct contact with the food as you possibly can. So I needed to say that. Flavor, expression, home, sacred space. So I'm going to shift over to home now. Food, clothing, shelter, home. And you should feel sheltered at home. Oh, how lovely. The wheel. This is interesting. Home is always changing and yet maybe always feeling the same in a way. Oh, I just mentioned RV. I wonder if somebody is going to be moving or getting a house on wheels. That's really cool. Does your home feel like it has movement? Does it reflect your soul, which is continually changing and expanding? Yeah? Yes. And yet you probably want a hub or a center, and that your home is the center. It's kind of your home base, and you go out in all of these different spokes out in the world, but your home is your center. It's where it's where you make love. It's where you get your sustenance from. It's where you connect with spirit. It's where you take care of your family, your children. You nurture your family and your animal family too. Does it feel to you like your home is your home base and the hub of where you go to kind of get replenished and nourished? Or is it just, you kind of fall through the door at the end of the day and you collapse? You watch a little TV, you go to bed. and then start the whole thing the next day? Do you get to really be at home? Do you want to be at home? Do you want something, do you want to downsize so you can really not spend so much time at work, so you don't have to spend so much money on rent or mortgage, and enjoy being at home more? Being there and creating home. Is your home an expression of you? Does it suit you? Does it contain you in a way that feels good to you, that helps you to thrive and grow? Does your home, you take care of your home? Does your home take care of you? That's a great question to ask. Does your home take care of you, or is this a one-sided relationship? Do you put everything into your home and your home gives nothing back? It just says, give me more money. I'm a money pit. You know? Is the environment where you would like it to be? Does it have the elements of what you want? Did you notice that this wheel has all the elements? It has earth, air, fire, water. Air is also in the sword. Isn't that cool? All the elements of home. Think about placing some feng shui. Some feng shui and meditation space of harnessing the energy that is in nature and spirit, light, you know, putting crystals, wind chimes, a fountain, you know, a little fire, candle. Those are the elements right there. You know, think about placing them in your home conscientiously, and maybe in a particular area of the home. Cleansing your home, clearing it before you give yourself a blank slate to clear it all out. Mary Kondo is, I believe, a woman from Japan. I think she's from Japan. I have her book, and the book, oh shoot, I can't remember the name of it. But her name is Mary Kondo, Kondo. And she makes a life of helping people clear their homes. It's amazing, the method she created, because it all comes from your heart. And it's not a very long, drawn-out process to do. It's actually very, very simple. And she does it all like in one day. And you can do it. And it's like keeping only those things that you absolutely love. Keeping, how she phrases it, is keeping what sparks joy. My guide asked me several years ago, he said, if you won the lottery, when it came to clearing up my house, he said, if you won the lottery, what would you keep? And usually the question is always, if you won the lottery, what would you get? And his question was, if you won the lottery, what would you keep? And I got it instantly. I was like, okay, I get it. That's all I really need to have around me. And I want to decorate my house with my soul, with my heart, you know? Only those things that actually have like a meaning, and I can connect with it. You know what I mean? So, here, let me show you something. If you can see this picture on the wall. This is called, I don't know if there's a lot of reflection, but I might be able to show it to you another time. Anyway, that's just a brief glimpse of this painting I have. It's a reprint of an oil painting called The Treehouse, which is something that, and it's the artist's name is Marcus Bernard. Anyway, so he made this oil painting back in the 70s, and then it was reproduced into a blacklight poster, which I saw at my absolute favorite shop in the entire world. It was called The Smuggler, and this was in Santa Monica, California, where I was born and raised. And not in the foofy parts. Santa Monica was not foofy when I grew up there. I lived in a little teeny tiny 2-bedroom apartment. That's where I grew up. Anyway, I saw this painting that I just showed you at The Smuggler, which was just a privately owned, eclectic little shop at the little original Santa Monica Mall. I used to go there all the time and stare at this poster. And lo and behold, I found it online. Not the original blacklight poster. I found the reprint on photo paper of the original oil painting. And I bought it because that is the essence of the magic I felt when I was a child. I felt the most magical to me being at the beach and seeing the full moon come up over the eastern horizon after just having watched the sunset. And the whales in the water, etc. Things like that. Nature around me. And this poster. This actual poster. Like, it contains so much of the essence of the magic of my childhood. Or the magic that I felt inside of me that I experienced as a child and mirrored back to me in these images. That's the kind of stuff you want to have around you in your home. And never mind about decor. If you just express with your own creative expression of who you are and who your family is and who you are together, it's so different. You feel the energy in your home so much differently, and it's so fulfilling. And that, to me, is my magic. That's what I do. I create atmosphere. I create atmosphere. That's one of my things. And that's what the creativity is in my life. And candles are one of just my most favorite expressions of atmosphere anywhere. And all different kinds of candles. So I'm just so happy to be making them now. That's what I love. I've loved using them in my spell work and whatnot, and just as creating magic in my environment. But to make them is different. It just feels so amazing. See, I do it for free. This is what I'm talking about. Creating atmosphere. So here, regarding your magic, your something meaningful to do. Grounding, 5 of Wands. This says a lot. Typically, 5 of Wands is a fire energy, so that's awesome. Perfect for what we're talking about. 5 of Wands also depicts competition. And the way I actually have read the meaning of this card, meaning grounding, is talking about how we kind of have pie in the sky ideas about our dreams and what we would like to do when we grow up, and, you know, kind of making it this big epic story when it might be a lot simpler than that. And you don't have to get all Tony Robbins about it. You know what I'm saying? No offense, Tony Robbins or Tony Robbins fans, but you don't have to make your life seem so huge and so epic when it comes to your calling. You know, even saying it's your calling, it's like it makes it sound so ominous. And you might start getting these bigger, grander ideas about what it should be, and it doesn't need to be that big. You don't have to set yourself up for not being able to accomplish this big, big, epic thing. Your calling could be something, your calling is something doable. That's kind of the point. It is doable, and you don't need to make it into something that's unreachable and that you feel disappointed about not reaching. And if your dream is bigger, but it seems out of reach to you right now, maybe break it down to the more practical things and take those steps first and break it down to bite-sized chunks. Ground your dream and make it more accessible by breaking it down. Break it down. And competition, no one is you, and that is your power. That's all I'm going to say. Don't worry about competition. You're the only one doing what you do, the way you would do it. No one is you, and that is your power. There's a lot of power in just being you, because no one else is you. Remember Mr. Rogers? You are special. You are. And yet we're all ordinary also, right? Let's not make it into this big epic story. Let's just do what we do really, really well, or well enough to feel accomplished at it for our own standards. We don't have to be as good as someone else or whatever. We don't have to put everything on the marketplace and compete. You know, you like selling stuff, but you might not want to do it to the degree that you have a shop, you know, and you got to have this profit margin and blah-de-da and turn it into this business or whatever. You want to just sell shit because you like it, because you enjoy it. It's fun, right? One man's trash is another man's treasure. And we want to, you know, conserve our resources. We don't want to keep making shit to keep polluting the earth and teaching our kids that material things are expendable, disposable. We want to have nicely things that mean something to us, first of all, regardless of where they were made and how want to be conscientious. We don't want to contribute to any kind of slave markets and stuff, although it can't be helped because we don't know, first of all. And that might be driving you to get your creative juices flowing in your magic to offer something to the world that's truly organic. And I mean organic because it came from your soul, you know? And that's really the most important thing about your magic, is that it's really an expression of you that you feel has meaning to you personally. You do it for yourself. And you feel wonderful about the fact that it does contribute something to this world. I don't care if they're little hemp bracelets or those little, what are they called? Lanyard bracelets, those rubbery. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't care. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't have to be something earth-shattering. It just needs to make you feel whole and complete and powerful in your own power, your own sense of self and your own power. You know what I mean? So I think these are awesome areas of life to look at. I'm going to bring you back up here to me, to moi. There. Okay. And I think I want to do True Love reading card. That's what I want to do. Just one. Quick. Without rushing. What card here would tie this reading together? I felt like I should do all four of them together because they encompass our material needs. And as it was channeled to me, I'll reiterate again, spirits broke down that material needs into four little compartments that are easy. But it's all material needs. Food, clothing, shelter, something meaningful to do. And that's it. Those are your material needs. So the more we simplify what we need based on what our soul needs, we can really whittle down stuff and eliminate a lot of crap that we don't need in our life or in our space that helps us fill our space with our own energy. And we fill our time with what we want to do. And of course, we got to put food on the table if you can't swing it, but at least, you know, you'll start making room for that, if that makes sense. That's what I pray all that for all of you who are watching this, and that you really go for it, that you have the courage to go for it. Go for it. Just do it. Just make the change one little bit at a time. Okay, what True Love reading card will bring all of this together for us? I'm letting them drop. That doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right. I'm not going to do it. True Love reading card for food, clothing, shelter, something meaningful to do. That fully represents our material needs. Brings it all together for us in a holistic explanation. There it is. There it is. I got it. And it is luminosity. That's really nice. That is talking about feminine, creative energy and shining. So if you were to apply this card, which, let me see, excuse me. It really applies from the book, so to speak. about female energy, feminine energy, divine feminine energy that is not overly assertive, not overly assertive, assertive of course, in applying your soul's light to what you do. So of course you're going to be assertive in that male energy, but doing it more in a so-called feminine energy way of being in the world, of embodying the light of your soul in such a way and just expressing. So maybe this is saying this is what I'm feeling. This is saying don't worry about doing stuff, making the changes with a lot of masculine energy of assertion, not too much, just only when you feel inspired, but more to just express. This is more about expressing your soul, expressing yourself in your life, embodying the things you love, right down to the clothes on your body. It expressing who you are, you know, that kind of luminosity. So that's it. That's what that was gonna say. Yeah, to imbue your life. This is more about the relationship aspect of luminosity, because it is like a relationship set of cards. But this to me is about shining, putting your essence into your life, as opposed to making these changes and making it work.